that I wanted them to take a look at critically. I wanted them to look at what they were consuming now, see the connection to the historical, some of the greats, the historical literature legacy that we have in this country. And so that they knew that their art was always and is alive and always about them. And most of the time when you're talking about American literature, you're talking about issues of social justice as well. So it was a real cool way for me to start. I'm old school as far as the way I was cultivated as far as a learner, which is critical thinking. That's old school to me. And so inquiry, provoke literature that provokes us to start thinking about things that might make us feel uncomfortable and having to work through that together in community. That was pretty much the building blocks of who I became. We went from everything, from those early days of cultural relevancy to cultural responsiveness to later the idea of humanizing education, which I think, learning together, we became a thought collective. We became a group of educators that were vibing off of each other and were learning new things together, and we could see the direct implication of that in the classroom with the success our students were having. And I think the final step we made in the mid-2000s was really learning our indigenous history and being able to implement some indigenous epistemologies as a framework for education. And that's that humanizing piece that I brought up before. So it was such an important part of us as teachers to have this humanizing, this a detailed, structured way of looking at the world through the lens of humanity, instead of just using the word humanizing. Man, we were like, okay, were we self-reflective? Were we being analytical? Were we developing our critical consciousness, which we would call precious and beautiful knowledge? Where is our will to act? Are we acting our knowledge? Are we noticing our own transformation? Are we transforming in a positive way?